Hi, my name is Ross McPherson, and I want to introduce you in this video to how to create a great and compelling summary section of your LinkedIn profile. That summary section is the first full section that appears underneath the beginning part of your LinkedIn profile. Let's quickly take a look at my profile and I'll show you where the summary section is. You'll notice underneath the introductory section where it has my photo and my name and my headline, you'll notice that underneath that it starts off with summary. Now, many people get this section wrong. Either they don't include anything. Some profiles have nothing in there at all. Others have some content but nowhere near enough. Others have the wrong content. You have 1,500 characters in your summary to say something unique, say something compelling about yourself. What you want to do is take advantage of those. You may not need, in fact, I would probably advise you not to use all 1,500 characters, but you do want to say something because you have the luxury of saying it, and there's all sorts of things you can include to help really create a compelling profile and a compelling summary. First piece of advice I want to give you is not to copy and paste your resume right into LinkedIn. I know the temptation, it simplifies matters, but it actually doesn't work as well. There are actually two totally different types of writing styles. I write resumes and LinkedIn profiles, and I have to actually shift because they are totally different writing styles. Resumes are more conservative, a little stodgy, a little plain, but a LinkedIn profile can show a little more personality. You can be more conversational. I'll talk about that. So don't copy and paste your resume right into your LinkedIn. You want to paraphrase it, find a different way of saying it, even say other things that you can't say in your resume. That's going to work much better in your summary. I also want to advise you to make it professional but conversational. As I said, online writing is different from other types of writing. And in LinkedIn, they've actually found that tones that are a little more conversational tend to play a little bit more. You've got a photo at the top, that fantastic smiling photograph of yourself. You also want a little bit of your personality to come across. So you still want to talk work, you still want to talk value, you still want to talk qualifications, but you want to be a little more conversational. It's a totally different tone. And the easiest illustration of this is in a resume, you would never use words like I, me, my. You just don't use them. But on LinkedIn, I'm actually going to encourage you to use them. Say, I did this, we did this, my best strength is this, I add value here. Make it more conversational, and it does play a lot better on LinkedIn. You also want to be very concise in your writing and your summary. I would recommend using small, concise, what I call chunks of information. Instead of large, long-winded paragraphs, which no one will want to read online, I almost guarantee it. What you want to include instead is short little bursts of information, little chunks of information, each one with a very specific focus to it. That type of writing has much more impact and is more likely to be read. So use small chunks of information. Even if you have a large paragraph, see if you can break it up or condense it down. But use smaller, more concise verbiage and chunks of information. That's going to play much better online. So those are some tips on how to approach and how to write your summary in your LinkedIn. What are some of the things though now that you can include in your summary? This is another thing that stumbles people. So what you want to try to do is start off strong. So the first thing that you could include, and I usually include it in mine that I'm writing, is a very strong and concise and distinctive opening statement, something very compelling. So it could be something as simple as this. My specialty is international finance. I have 6 years experience with a leading investment firm and am currently completing an MBA at UCLA Anderson. That's it. One sentence says a lot. As opposed to something much more boring or much more bland, a strong opening statement is a great way to open up your summary. Another thing you could include is some brief career background, either a brief background of your career, summation of your career, or a brief description or background of your most recent or most relevant role. But what you want to do here, I can't emphasize brief enough. We're not giving the entire backstory. We're not writing a book. You really need to summarize it and summarize it in a very concise way. So here's what I mean by that. Something that says something about your background and may even add a little bit in terms of performance. So something like, for the past 4 years, I've worked with Thames Finance Group in New York, where I've worked on corporate acquisitions totaling $450 million. On my last project, the $172 million acquisition of a transportation logistics firm, I played a major role in the due diligence and was selected by the CEO to join his negotiation team. That's what I mean. It's concise, it's to the point, it doesn't give the entire history, but it gives enough of the history to be relevant and even includes a few sort of achievements and accomplishments in there. Another thing you could include, and this one just makes sense, is something about your MBA, something about your MBA or other education or training or certification you've taken. Now, I know it's going to appear in your education section, but this is an opportunity to say a little bit more about it or put it in a context. So it could be something as simple as this. My MBA further strengthens and broadens my business skill set, and I'm currently in the top 10% of my class. I've also taken advanced programs in business strategy, negotiation, and team leadership. That's as simple as it needs to be. You could go into a little bit more detail if you want to, but it could be something as simple as that just again re-emphasizes the MBA, re-emphasizes things that you want to emphasize in your summary. Another of my favorite things to do with a LinkedIn summary, and this speaks again to letting your personality come across and being more conversational, is to have some sort of statement around where you best fit in, or what type of company you'd best fit in with, or what you're known for. And it can be as simple as something like this. I'm a leader, a problem solver, an innovative thinker, and I'm fiercely competitive. I'm looking for a senior role in a boutique investment firm. That kind of statement just sort of, again, it says something about you, and what's interesting is when you try to specifically say, the type of person you are, the type of company you fit in with, the companies that want that will be attracted to that statement, and everybody wins. So that kind of statement can really, again, add tremendous value to your summary. Now at the bottom of the summary, there's still room to say other things that you don't have anywhere else in your profile to say. So some of the things that you could include if you wanted to at the bottom of your summary are things like volunteer leadership. You could go into that. I've included quotes or testimonials. Those actually add tremendous value. You could go into more detail about the type of position or career you're after if you want to go into more detail. You could even include hobbies and interests, although when it comes to hobbies and interests, be a little careful. Let's be honest, if you've got a hobby or an interest that other people find a little creepy, don't put it in there. But you could include it if you want to, and it works actually tremendously well sometimes. Once you have all of these pieces together, this is what your profile, or I should say your summary in your profile looks like. Small, digestible chunks of information. What I like to do is each little piece, each little paragraph has something distinct to say. And there's a specific reason it's there. It's all designed to sell you, all designed to market you. So if you put the right type of summary together, again, you don't need to use all 1,500 characters, but if you put the right kind of content in there, it can actually say an awful lot more about you than the rest of your profile can, even when you take that into consideration. So work your summary, put something compelling together, and it'll work for you every time. Good luck.